What is up? All right, welcome back. To those of you who are just hanging out on the Tuesday Tastealong, we're back. It's sorry, I'm like 5 minutes late. I said I'll be on at 9:15. It's 9:20. It's okay. I had to go run around and grab some bottles, and I was thinking, like, what am I gonna, not that we're doing any sort of structured stream, but I was like, what am I gonna taste tonight? At least while we hang out and shoot the shit or whatever. So I grabbed a few things. Tim Evans, if you're back in here, man. I grabbed my old Ezra 7 from the basement. Now, mine is a little bit of an older bottle, so I think this was probably like a 2020 release. And I know people are saying that the new ones are significantly better, but I figured I may as well go ahead and try to taste that tonight as well. For those of you just now tuning in who didn't see the Tuesday Tastealong, and if you're watching the replay and you're like, what is he talking about? What's going on here? Yeah, we did a Tuesday Tastealong. You can check out that video now or whenever. And the Junkies aren't live tonight, so we're just hanging out. We're gonna do a stream for an undisclosed, undetermined amount of time. And if people happen to jump on here, a couple other whiskey tubers, if they want to send me a message on Instagram or text me or whatever and say, hey, let me on, maybe we'll have a few other people on. Open invite, Matt Porter, if you're here. But no pressure, seriously, literally no pressure. We're just chilling. Cool. Oh, Cheech says, after Drums and Drams, Whiskey Encore. Oh, Cheech, dude, if I stepped on your time, man, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Honestly, I didn't even know the Junkies weren't going live tonight. I don't keep up on that stuff. I just tune in when they're live, and then if they're not, I just go watch Dana White's Contender Series, so. All right, guys. Well, let's have a chill night. I've got the lo-fi beats on. Hope the music's not too loud. I don't know if I adjusted it. Okay, I did. I turned it down a bit. So balance should be okay. So in honor of Matt Porter being in the chat, I thought, you know what? Let's start off with something inspired by the man himself, which is this. Bad Mama Jamma. Old Fitz, 15 year. What does it say this is from? Fall 19? Yes. So this is the Fall 19 release. Matt Porter sent me this in a blind like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And I was like, what is that? So the other day, pulled the trigger on this. Local secondary. Sarah approved. She loves this stuff. We both love it. So I'm going to start the night with some Old Fitz 15. Because why not? And then I actually have some Dusties from Toshi Bake in the chat that I'll go ahead and sip those tonight, including a 1971 Old Fitz. So that'll be kind of a cool little side-by-side, even though it's a little lower proof. Okay, Cheech, that makes me feel better, man. No plans of an early stream, so okay, cool. Tim Evans, that's my birthday pour, the Old Fitz 15. Yeah, this thing is, this is good stuff. Woo! Jake McKee says, text Trev. I'm sure he's not doing anything. I'll text him. I think Matt Porter's going to jump on after he gets his chillins to bed. Sweet. That'll be awesome. We get Matt. If Trev sees this, maybe we'll get Trev on. Peer pressure is real, says Jake. Yeah. I'm going to have to make a thumbnail for this video after the fact, and I'm going to figure out what to do. If I end up bottle chugging or something, maybe I'll just screenshot that. Hopefully I'm not going to bottle chug tonight. It's only Tuesday. Cheers, guys. Old Fitz 15. Good God. Here's the thing about some of these Old Fitzes. And I think, to me, of all the ones I've tried, I think I've had like the 9, 13, 11. Like, I've tried different samples of them. I think I still have a little bit of maybe the 9 from Keith Schmidt in a sample bottle. The thing about them is they never blow your socks off, in the sense that, like, they're 100 proof and they're weeders. So they're chill, they're light, they're kind of easy going and sweet. But this is the most rich and decadent Old Fitz I've ever had. I just have not had that new 17 year. And I also haven't had the 16. But I heard that this was better than the 16. But my God, is this just silly good stuff. There's just that super rich vanilla note in here. There's almost like blueberry muffins. This is the one whiskey that I smelled it and I was like, this might have like distinct blueberry notes on it. Oh, and just like that funky sweet oak. Whew. Little nuttiness, but it's not bad. It's not like that dry brittle peanut that I don't like. Wow. And it just smells light and sweet and buttery like Tim is saying. Yeah. If you guys are just now jumping in here, everybody, please hit that like button. If you're just now jumping in, random Tuesday night stream, Junkies aren't live, and that's what we're doing. And then we're going to turn it over to Cheech at the end, Whiskey Encore whenever this wraps up. I don't plan on staying on, too terribly long, but Toshi Bake loves UFC, dude, me too. UFC is the one sport I have followed. There was probably a period of let's say 5 years, maybe 5 to 7 years when I was in college, where UFC kind of fell off the radar for me. It was just music school, head down, all that kind of stuff. But before that, and over the last 3 to 4 years, religious UFC fan. I started watching in, I think, 2005-ish with my dad. So that's like the one thing I keep up on. And then I was a lacrosse player back in the day. And so I used to watch a lot of college lacrosse. And I've kind of fallen off of that as well. So it's really just UFC for me. I don't watch football. Basketball, sometimes I'll turn it on, but I'm not like a diehard fan or anything like that. Scott, is Old Fitz and Larceny close in taste? Oh, man, my Larceny's in the basement. As far as this 15-year goes, it's not close. The Larceny barrel proofs are not a good comparison, the higher proof, and also those things just taste so freaking young. So I don't think they're that close. The thing for me is I wish they would just let Larceny barrel proof age a few more years and just make it, get a 10-year age statement on Larceny barrel proof. Can you imagine like a 10-year wheated bourbon at barrel proof from Heaven Hill? Regular, 3 times a year release. That would be crazy. So I feel like, in my mind, they rushed Larceny barrel proof to market. I feel like they could have just waited a few years, and I don't know that anybody would have been upset by that, honestly. Bruiser, what's up, man? Hey, need the Old Fitz 13. I've not... Wait a second, let me think. I've had the 9. I've either had the 11 or the 13. And whichever one it was, I was like, It might have been the 11. Because I think I actually, you know what? I think I had a 13, and I believe the 13 is a green label. And I think I had a 13 and I traded it, is what it was. So... yeah, this 15, though, is silly. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot gets blueberries on the Jack Daniels single barrel proof rye. So I get blackberry on that, but I could totally see what you're talking about with the blueberries. 100%. Top Dog, worried about breaking the cork. I got to go back and see what you're talking about. Oh, dude, a 1970 cabin still? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be mad about a cork break on that. That's understandable. That's awesome. I've never had any old cabin still stuff, so that's really cool. Hank Williams Jr. What will be the fall release of Old Fitz, I imagine you're talking about, in 2022? I don't know that I've seen a press release about that. So, what I really want, I do want to get the 17. I've got to find a way to trade for it, because paying cash for the 17, $850 secondary, that just seems insane to me. When I think about what $850 gets me on secondary, true secondary, to me is like, I'm going to go buy another 89 Grandad 114. But I got to get that 17 year because I want to put it next to this sample, which I think I'll taste tonight, which is Heaven Hill 17 year from Toshi Bake. Yeah, Cheech, shouting out Bruzel. Guys, I'm assuming all of you are subscribed to Bruzel at this point because Bruzel has like 25K subs and counting on all those whiskey shorts, man. Just killing it with the YouTube Shorts game. I'm going to start busting into some YouTube Shorts because of Bruzel, you know. I've been watching what he's doing. It's a great tool to go super wide with your audience. And so go check out Bruzel if you aren't already, which I'm sure you are. He's lapped me, 10 times over. So it's awesome, man. 27.7K. That's killer. Yeah, Shredward says $850 is a sweet snare drum and a couple cymbals. Yeah, right? I know. When I think about the fact that bourbon is a consumable, and then you start thinking about instruments and tech gear and stuff that's going to last you 10, 20, 30 years, you do start to create like that value, judgment against those things. And it I don't know. I like whiskey. You can't think too hard about it. Mark Vasco. So I missed the Russell's Reserve 13 today, but you got a Hardin's Creek. Nice. Was that you got the Jacobs well? Man, I wonder how that is. I heard that some stores in Ohio this week were getting that Russell's 13 again, another drop of it, but it was fewer stores than when this last batch dropped. But I didn't know that we were getting the Hardin's Creek stuff, so that's cool. You'll have to let me know how that is, because I've heard some good things. I think Jason really talked highly of that one, the 15-plus year release. So, guys, speaking of like bourbon hunting, here's something about me I've kind of talked about on the channel. I don't go out and hunt very much anymore because in Ohio, it's a control state. Everybody knows when the drops are happening. We know when stuff is going to be where. And so because of that, you have to stand in line for 2 to 24 hours. And like, I'm not going to go do that. At that point, it's like, let's just do some freelance work, make the money, buy on secondary, and you end up saving time, which is just terrible. But what are some things that you guys have been finding out there recently? Like, I'm curious in your areas what has been dropping, because I'm seeing now Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C922 dropping. I don't know what states that's in, but some people are getting C922 and Larceny also. I don't think that we've seen that in Ohio. But what are some things you're stumbling upon right now? I mean, we're on the cusp of special release, limited release bourbon season in the fall now. So I'm curious from all of you, like, what are you seeing on the shelf or behind the counter at these stores? And what are you picking up? And what are you paying for it also? And Bruzel says, I may have 27.7K, but I wish I had 60 folks on an impromptu stream. YouTube doesn't promote streams to short viewers. Yeah, Bruzel, I mean, dude, I took the last 10 days off of anything YouTube. Work got busy. And tonight, well, rewind 2 weeks to last Tuesday. That Tuesday Tastealong, a short 30-minute tasting of Lost Monarch, had over 100 viewers. I couldn't believe it. And, basically 2 weeks later, it was down to 40 and 50 over on that stream. So they not de-platform, but deprioritize those notifications to people quick. So it seems to me from this side of things, not doing shorts, but just, sporadic content here and there without a schedule to it, that there's definitely a priority given to being consistent. Mark says Trev got the C922 in Arkansas. Ohio won't see it till November. Considering we did get B522. Usually we're really early on the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, but B522 was silly late. Willet Wheat arrived. This is one I forgot about, actually. I have no interest in paying for it because I'm not a big Willet person in terms of their own distillate, but I guess the wheat could change my mind. I'm not going to roll the dice 225, 250. Let me catch up on the chat, guys. I might save this last little bit of this Old Fitz 15, and I'm going to pour something different here. I'm going to get into some dusties. I feel honored. I feel like to be able to say I'm going to get into some dusties and then say, should I drink 71 Stitzel Weller Old Fitz or 69 President's Choice? That feels like an honor. So Toshi Bake, thank you, man. Thank you for sending these samples. Joe, I'm trying to figure out what to trade for the Heaven Hill 17 right now. And I'm going to taste that. I'm going to taste that here in just a second. When I say a second, it might be like 45 minutes or 30 minutes. You tried it a few weeks ago. Whiskey Library in Portland, which would cost me $5,000 a month if I lived there. That sounds like a very serious whiskey establishment in Portland. So Heaven Hill 17 is going for around $1,000 secondary. And if you think about MSRP on it, it's like $250, $275. So like 2 Russell's 13s and something with a $200 valuation secondary is going to get you there, which MSRP wise, depending on what you have in your area, what's available to you, what you have in your bunker, you could come out on a better end of that MSRP and match it secondary. For me, everything limited is just about secondary, unfortunately. So it's like my trade value is going to be, I'd probably have already shelled out $1,000 for the bottles that I would use to trade for it, which sucks. I think Heaven Hill 17 is great, having tried it, but tonight I can discuss it in more detail, a little bit more intelligently, I think. Oh, here we go, Jeff Perkins. This is a great question. Actually, guys, I'm gonna real quick before I taste these dusties. Let me grab this real quick. So I put my money where my mouth is, and Heaven's Door did send me the I still have their media kit back there for the Heaven's Door 10. I like this so much, and for the review video that's going to come out, I thought it would be more poignant instead of saying, hey, they sent me this media kit, I really love this stuff, and people say, oh, you got sent this, you're not going to say a bad thing about the brand. That's been a real big trend recently on some bigger channels of just calling them out and saying, oh, you don't want to lose your relationship with the brand reps and all this. No, I went out and bought a bottle of this because I like it so much. All right, so let me taste it real quick. Heaven's Door was asking me like, hey man, when are you going to release your review? I felt bad. The channel went dark there for 2 weeks or so. So let's taste it right now very quickly. I've already done this on a live stream before from the media sample. I saved some of the sample and I'm going to compare it to what's in the bottle and see if there's any distinct differences in that review video. Some people like to think that media samples can be special blends or special barrels sometimes. So I'll do that on my video, but tonight I'm going to taste it from the bottle and answer Jeff Perkins, which the question is, if you're not a big fan of Dickel, are you going to like it? All right, Jeff. Here's the thing, guys. Heaven's Door 10-year, 100 proof, 10-year age statement. The mash bill has over 20% rye in it. So if anybody in the chat knows where this comes from, that's not Dickel's mash bill. Dickel's 86, 8, and 6, right? Something like that. 86, 8, and 6. Heavy corn mash bill. This is a high rye mash bill for Heaven's Door. So I don't know if this is contract distilled somewhere else or by Dickel. It is from Tennessee, they say. I have no idea what the juice is in this bottle. And the chat's going crazy. I got to catch up now. Okay, let me get to some of this stuff, guys. Bruzel says 63 folks, and hit that like button while you're hanging out. Thank you, Bruzel. And yes, guys, please hit that like button. 73 in the chat now, which is cool. I know the junkies aren't live tonight. I appreciate you being here. Impromptu stream, just pouring some bottles, hanging out, shooting the shit. Matt Porter might be jumping on in a little bit. We'll see what happens. All right, so the nose on this Heaven's Door, as I go back through the chat here, it is so incredibly fruity. Light fruit. If you are into anything Buffalo Trace, E.H. Taylor, Rock Hill Farms, Blanton's, I know these are from 2 different mash bills, but this has that light fruit vibe of those Buffalo Trace products with more depth. To me, it's not as grain sweet. It's more fruit sweet, and I actually like it better. Like, I think I would take this Heaven's Door over an E.H. Taylor. God, am I going to do this comparison now? Why not? Why not? Let's really put my money where my mouth is, and let's see if this is true, because off the rip, it feels like it is. This Heaven's Door, to me, is a top whiskey of the year. I am not lying. Is it BTAC? No, it's not. I think it's incredible, and you get zero hint of Dickel on this anywhere. I'm so sensitive to the Dickel minerality, all that stuff, the chemical notes. I get zero of that on this Heaven's Door. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare it to E.H. Taylor Single Barrel because it gives me those same vibes. Let's see what happens here. Got to rinse this glass. So I know, Bruzel, I saw you in the chat a second ago saying you hate Dickel and that you're not sure about this Heaven's Door. I'm telling you, this is a great whiskey. But you've got to like fruitiness. You've got to like a little bit of a lighter profile. And the age shows in the leather, not necessarily in the oak. All right, let's see here. Callie Reynolds says, Heaven's Door 10 is a higher aged MGP source. I don't believe that's true because it says distilled in Tennessee. So, could not be MGP, unfortunately. Could not be MGP. Okay. So let's do this comparison now. And then we'll get to some dusties. Although, honestly, I'm not in a rush to get to those dusties. If we don't make it tonight, I will be okay with that too, because I'm going to do a live stream on Thursday. All right. So let's see how this thing stacks up here. Oh, that Heaven's Door is so good. Ooh, the E.H. Taylor Single Barrel is really good too. That is a tough comparison. Yeah, E.H. Taylor Single Barrel, 20% darker. And as we all know with Buffalo Trace products, when you get a little older, grape, snow cone syrup grape, that kind of thing, hanging out in the bottom of this one. That's kind of the base note with the sweet oak. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Go to the Heaven's Door. Very similar. Honey. But this is more in like pear, apple, really bright cherry. And the standout is the spice. It has like the Mash Bill 2 Buffalo Trace spice going on with it, while also having a really nice light sweetness. I think for $80 for being available, because this stuff is not flying off shelves, I might prefer the E.H. Taylor Single Barrel. Now that I smell them, at least, I got to taste them still. Now that I smell them side by side, I might gravitate towards the darkness of this. Again, probably about 20% darker on the profile. But let's try them on the palate now and see what we get. Tim says there are MGP Heaven's Door picks. Okay, I did not realize that, but this is definitely not MGP. It's the palate on the Heaven's Door. Oh my God, man. It's so spicy and so good. Usually when you get this much spice, there's not enough sweetness to counteract it, and the whiskey tastes sharp and young and ethanol forward. This is none of those things. Imagine sweet, light fruit notes, a little bit of vanilla. It's so freaking fruity. Peaches now. Peaches and peaches, pears, apples, light cherry. That's the kind of realm we're living in. Fruit cup, like in a fruit cup, and it's that syrup in the fruit cup, but not as gross. It's like a cake. It's like a white cake with a bunch of fruit on it. And so spicy, but in the best way. Damn. Joe says, tastes a lot like... What's EE Bottled and Bond? What's EE? Let me know, Joe. Yeah, Bruzel, I dig it, man. I don't know why I'm so enamored by the Heaven's Door. I think it's just a profile that's basically it fills a place in the market in terms of profile that I don't think any other whiskey out there is kind of at the price point with the level of availability, all those things, being underrated, kind of an underdog whiskey. I think this thing shines in all of those regards. I mean, yes, it's an $80 bottle. You have to reconcile in your mind whether you want to buy like an ECBP or Heaven's Door 10. A lot of people are going to go ECBP, and I don't blame you. It's dark, more intense, bang for your buck. But this is just a different beast altogether, you know? And if you like Rock Hill Farms, I'm thinking of other 100 proof stuff. I mean, yes, E.H. Taylor, this is a single barrel, so this is maybe I should have pulled down the small batch to compare it to, but I wanted to really give it a challenge here. But the single barrel doesn't have any of the spice that this Heaven's Door has, with over 20% rye in the mash bill. So Buffalo Trace lovers are really gonna dig it. Hank, I don't know about 2022 George T. Stagg, man. I don't know. All right, so that's that. Rock Hill Farms, Bruzel, good barrels of Rock Hill Farms are so good. I have a bad barrel back there, and it just tastes like Benchmark, man. It's like spicy Benchmark and a little bit better. Ugh. How's it compared to John J. Bowman? Says Brian in 82. I don't know. I'm not going to pour it. Let's take a quick little. It's closer to John J. Bowman than it is the E.H. Taylor single barrel. It's much closer to this. All right. Everyone's like asking about comparisons. I'm not going to do all of them right now. Bellmead Reserve as a dying brand, maybe completely dead now. I think, it depends. The old Bellmead Reserve, the cask strength stuff, I would take probably over Heaven's Door. To me, it's kind of in a similar vein as what the 108.3 proof was before they transitioned to the new bottles, the Nelson stuff. They're just different, but same value in my mind, you know? Okay, Matt Porter is asking for a link. Let me get him a link to this. I think Matt is going to jump on with us, guys, and hang out. Tommy D. Tommy, I wish I could just like snap my fingers and the belt just appeared around my waist. Oh, what's up, man? What's up? Hey, we're going to get Matt Porter in here, guys. Give me like 2 seconds to figure out how to invite him in here. Where do I do this at? Can I get the link while I'm already live? Oh, yeah, invite. Here we go. Copy to clipboard. Now I'm going to send it to Matt. Let me see if I can email it to him. That'll probably be easier. Matt, this will come to your email. Hopefully you can just click it from there on your computer. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so I just sent it to you, Matt. Jump on when you can. And I have, I think I have a background I can throw up for us when you do jump in here. The only thing I don't have is Matt's logo. But that's okay. All right. Sorry, chat. Give me 2 seconds here. Just tying up all the loose ends so we can get Matt Porter hanging out tonight. Cool. Joe, I mean, Bellmead is going to be darker for sure than the Heaven's Door 10. Heaven's Door 10 is a lighter pour. So, yeah, you just got to be ready for that. That's the only thing about it. All right. Let's do this. Okay. All right, guys, if you are hanging out tonight, hit that like button if you don't mind. Oh, Joe says it tastes like a lot like Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. The Heaven's Door 10. I think they're, for me, they're a little different, but maybe some of the sweeter notes I can see possibly being kind of crossover. Z-Man, my question always is, does it taste good? It tastes good. And that's all we need to talk about. You're right. So I'll do a little blend here of Heaven's Door and E.H. Taylor Single Barrel. See how this tastes. Oh, that's really good, actually. That worked better than the blend earlier from the Tuesday Tastealong of Old Granddad Bonded and Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. That was not a good blend. All right. See, is Matt Porter? No Matt Porter yet. All right, guys, what do you think? Should I do some dusties next? A couple of dusties with Matt Porter on the live stream? Or should I wait to see what he's going to sip on? Also, does anybody actually know where Heaven's Door 10 Year is from? That's my big question. Is this contract distilled Dickel with a different mash bill or at a different Tennessee distillery? But I don't know who else in Tennessee is going to be sourcing stuff out that's 10 years old. I don't know who has stock at that age in Tennessee. And I've asked some people there, and nobody that I've asked has had an answer for me, unfortunately. So, let's see. All right. What did I see above here? Tennessee Distilling Company. What is that? Travis, what are you talking about with Tennessee Distilling Company? Guys, I'm not going to talk about Chateau de la Baude tonight. I'm going to save that for my patrons tomorrow night on my Patreon only live stream. And then on Thursday, I will talk about Chateau de la Baude on the Drums and Drams live stream. But I want to save that, let that be something special for my patrons. All right. Bubble Bass says it's way too old to be contract distilled unless they locked that in 10 years ago. Right. That's what I'm wondering about. Bruzel, they don't give the exact mash bill. They only say that it's over 20% rye. It does not go through the Lincoln County process. And it is distilled in Tennessee. Scott says, what is better, Discovery 7 or 8? For me, it's Discovery 8. Actually, that's funny. I actually have it on the table here. So let me just pour some. Discovery 8 I wasn't crazy about because of all the wood finishing. But this has a lot of air in the bottle now. And typically when you do stave finishing or you do toasted barrels, these things get better as you get some more air in the bottles. So let's see how this thing does. Good question, Scott. You read my mind. All I got to do, guys, is get ADHD Whiskey's logo. And I'll actually have a background graphic I can use when he jumps on here right away, which would be cool. I just don't know if I have his logo saved on my computer from the last time I made a graphic for him. Let's see if I can find it on Google Images real quick. Save image to downloads. I know I had a better one last time I did this, but screw it. I'll just go ahead and use the square logo that I got here. Pursuit United is Sagamore. Apparently, Tennessee Distilling makes the Costco Tennessee whiskeys. Huh. Interesting. So Tennessee Distilling, how old is their stock? Do you guys know? Because I think a particular person from WhiskeyTube that lives in Tennessee told me that they might have 10-year stuff that's being used for Heaven's Door, but I just don't know. Ooh, that Bardstown Discovery 8 is spicy. Wow. Wow. All right. We have a special guest in the house, guys. Matt, give me 1 second, dude, before I bring you on. I gotta make this look pretty for you. Only the best for Matt, freaking the world's top whiskey taste reporter. Only the best. And this isn't the best. This is just the best I could do, like, right now as I'm photoshopping and trying to do a freaking whiskey live stream at the same time. Here we go. Boom, and boom, and boom. Let's go. What's up, man?
In a world where ordinary men can excel doing ordinary things, this man has single-handedly lowered the bar. From the scrambled mind that brought you Mac Madness and Beagle Rare comes this underwhelming Friday night special event. Matt Porter is the Blendigeddon 2 World Champion and the 2020 World's Top Whiskey Taster. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your glass and shake your ass for ADHD Whiskey Live.
Damn, dude.
Patron did that for me today. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
He's the voice actor, Jonathan Cook.
That's hilarious.
Like that gave me chills. I love it.
Is that like
anyway,
your...
Hey,
what's up? No, you talk.
Yeah, it's gonna be my new intro for my live streams.
Sick.
So my wife is gonna call me at some point. I don't know when. So when she does, I'm gonna have to jump off. I'll probably jump right back on.
You're good.
Just depends on how long she wants to chat. She's out of town working. She's travel nursing at the moment. So I was expecting to talk to her already, but nope. Cameron, I love you, and I'm super apologetic about things I may have done in the past.
About nothing. Nothing happened.
Ever, as a matter of fact.
I was like gonna jump into one of your streams after, or like see you in a live chat and mention something, and I'm like, it's actually better if I never bring this up ever again in my life. Just in the event. I check the comment section of that particular thing often. And I'm like, if someone says something, I'm gonna text Matt and say, hey man, can you take care of this?
Oh, it's all good. Nothing ever. Dude, your collection is growing like insane. You're like, oh, look what I got. Look what I got. Look what I got. You know what I got? A piece of shit Calumet Farm. All right. I got one of those and it's absolute trash.
I got the other one that you didn't. I got the green one.
Guess what? I'm not going to buy that.
Don't buy it.
Is it bad too?
You know, I've only had I literally took a sip off the top of the bottle. It's 86 proof, dude. 86, and it's 15 and 8 year. What the? How are you going to bottle the 8 year at 90 and this at 86 with 15-year juice in it? I said juice.
I don't know.
I'm a dick, but you know what I mean. God,
you're not a dick. Just take that back. I want you to take it back.
I'm not a dick, but I said juice like a freaking wiener head.
Well, you just said wiener head also, so there's that. You're just piling on yourself, aren't you?
And I'm drinking out of very stemmed glassware,
Is that a Copita, or did I already ask you that once and you said
no? This is like something called the Ben Ewan glass that I just bought.
The Patrick Ewing glass.
If I knew who that was, I would know who that was.
You don't know who Patrick Ewing is?
Here, it's right there on the screen. Ben Ewan.
Oh, that's way different than what I said. The thing I said was a center for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, see, I'm not a sports guy. And when I say that, I just, dude, can you please do your Anderson Silva impression? Please, I heard him talk today.
He's okay. He's normal. He's a special event.
For those of you in the live chat, Matt and I sat on a couch next to each other and watched, was that 278?
It was good.
We watched UFC 278 together at the Junkies hang, and it was, yeah, the Anderson Silva impression kills me.
So I was watching the Jake Paul Anderson Silva press conferences the last couple days, and that little boy is an asshole.
I didn't watch those. I mean, he likes Anderson though, right?
Oh yeah, he does. And that drives me nuts.
Is he, so he's not talking shit?
No, not at all. He's showing him pictures of when he was a little boy and he met him with Logan, and they all met, and like Anderson signed his picture. He's playing fanboy. What's the thing you would want the least if you fought Anderson Silva? Him to be upset and want to take your head off, right?
Right.
If you were to fight, if I was gonna fight him, believe me, it's just the guy I would want to fight is the guy who's like, I want to show you, I want to put on a show for you. You know, like,
yeah,
the guy who's like being like the dude's like mentor and like putting on a show for him. That's what he's wanting. I know it, because that's the only way he can beat him is if he hits him. He's not going to hit him if he's pissed.
Right.
You know what I mean? I see his tactics, and then it drives me nuts. Yeah.
But it reminds me of when Connor fought Dustin the second time, when he went full respect, you know what I mean? No shit talk, whatever. And then Dustin mauled him, and then Connor went like immediately to like, your wife's in my DMs, and it's like, oh no, here we go. And then he breaks his leg. It's like, you know, that's like the equivalent to me of Jake Paul suddenly not talk, because I saw the pictures he posted on Instagram, but I didn't watch the press conference. So interesting.
It's more like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good, what's the word? The thing where you compare it to something else that makes total sense and makes you look really smart.
Analogy, metaphor.
That's probably one of those two. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It would be like, I don't know. Oh, I get it. Let's say me and you are having a whiskey tasting competition, right? You're Jake Paul, obviously. I'm the master. And then like,
he's good.
He's normal. The entire time you're like, Matt, I can't believe you when you can just like pick the exact glass like immediately right off the nose, and you tell me that for like 3 months leading up to our tasting competition, and you make me feel like you idolize me. So then when I smell it, I'm like, I got to impress him. I gotta put on a show for him. Then I'm like, Knob Creek, and wrong, knocked out.
Right.
That's all I gotta say about that. In my head, it makes a lot of sense when I try to verbalize it, which is
it makes sense. It totally makes sense. What are you drinking, man?
Oh, nothing.
You don't have to drink. No pressure.
I mean, we're here. I was watching you earlier, and you're just drinking all the fancy stuff. Did you? Dude, you said you got a Heaven Hill 17 or just a sample or what?
I have a sample. You want to drink it together?
Well, I have one more sample. Should I?
Is it only 1 ounce? I mean, I don't want, dude, don't waste it on me. And I don't say that to be like, oh no, I'm going to drink it with, no, seriously, don't waste it on me. If it's only 1 ounce, I have 2 ounces.
Any excuse to drink it. I'm looking for any excuse.
Just drink it with me right now. Just do it.
All right. I already did the 1 ounce Wednesday with one of them. This one's from Mr. Bill Kavanaugh. Is it yours from Bill Kavanaugh as well?
No, mine is from Toshi Bake in the chat right now.
America. Wow, Toshi Bake. The
Toshi Bake.
The Toastmeister.
What's in this glass? Oh, guys, real quick. Someone was talking about Bardstown 7 versus 8. I like 8 better. 8 has gotten better with air. It's still a spicy and woody SOB, but it tastes like coffee. And so a lot of people are going to dig that. And now it goes into the dump glass, and I'm going to pour Heaven Hill 17. 100 people in chat. That's amazing.
That's
Please
a
hit
lot.
that. That's a lot for me, dude. I'm just a little man.
You were a pretty small guy. I'm trying to highlight stuff in chat and I can't because
Which just who is it? Let me see.
it was. I don't remember. It was.
Oh, there we go. There you go. Toshi Bake's got your back.
That is what I would consider to be phenomenal. I've been getting all these sample boxes for this Ultimate Flighting Championship thing for the live stream.
Yeah.
Wow, like every day, like 6 boxes in the PO box, and then I go to FedEx and there's like 5 there. I'm like, geez, they add up to like a whole car full of boxes real quick.
Are people sending you? Is it just one sample each, or are they sending you more stuff with it just for you to try? Like,
some people send just their entry. Other people send multiples. You know, just depending on the box. But I got a box today that was literally opened on both ends, and I was like, how is this even? But the sample was still in it in like a wad of bubble wrap. I was like, how? Good grief! Incredible.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
Dude, freaking Heaven Hill 17.
So I don't have. See, you have a King of Kentucky. You have things of this quality. I don't. So like this is, to me, I'm like, this blows my mind. Blows my mind apart.
It's got that like sour woody funk to it. It's sour in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a dusty sour kind of thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh. And
left nostril still pulling all the weight around here. Right nostril not doing anything for months.
Is that from the vid?
I don't know, Cameron. Why don't you bring up another sore subject? Gosh.
So I'm sorry. I apologize.
You mention its name and then guess what? It's like saying Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, bang, pow. Again, a 3rd time.
Oh, wrong button. Shit. Wait. There we go. Well, that was anticlimactic. No, you're right. I shouldn't say it.
What? Oh, do both of your nostrils work okay?
Oh, they work great. In fact, I think both of my nostrils, I think each one, really carried the weight of the Matt Madness 2022.
Yeah,
listen.
We got to come up with. I have to come up with different rules this year that put you at a disadvantage.
Look, dude, Shook guessed Elijah Craig barrel proof for Blanton's on Friday's Poor Guesses. Okay, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm just saying, it cracks me up.
This about those guys. They do all that stuff standing up. Like, what are you doing on your video? Like,
you're right.
I've never done that. I've never actually shot a video standing up. Would it change something? I don't know. I would imagine.
Tense.
I'm less comfortable.
Yeah.
Are you standing up right now? I can't tell.
That's what Dramhound said. Dramhound's so freaking tall, and then he came on my stream after the Junkies thing, and he said, "Oh, I didn't know you were standing up for all your videos."
Wait, you are?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was gonna say, because you just agreed with me. That doesn't make sense. Man, that smells so good.
It smells good.
But it tastes better than it smells from what I remember. Don't match. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it tastes so much better than it smells. And it doesn't smell bad. Oh.
Keep doing what you're doing. Oh yeah. Keep doing it. Grind on me. Do it. That's
There's
good.
that.
I like that.
There's that moment where you're like, "Wow, this is fucking awesome," and then it just gets better.
It's still
you know what I mean?
It's just that is such an amazing pour.
Yeah. Whew.
Man, I wish they made. I wish you could just. Wish it was obtainable and could get it. That would make it. That would make things better in the whiskey world.
Yeah.
If you could just have what you wanted for a reasonable price, instead of paying $50 for a Calumet 8. I could have spent that $50 on anything else.
Dude, when I do that, I think about all the shitty $50 bottles I bought over my lifetime, and I go like, man, this equals, like, just get 20 of those. And that's literally secondary for Heaven Hill 17.
Sorry.
Nice music. No, it's okay. Just play your music, dude.
It wasn't. It was a notification, Cameron.
What is your notification sound?
The Bourbon Wrench posted one new clip.
Oh, what is he doing? You want to get him in here?
I'm not gonna. Well, that would be cool. I love it. Then I could leave and just watch you guys because you guys are the best together. I feel like, I'm just not that good. I'm just not that good. But no, I don't know what he's doing. I would never check while I'm with you, Cameron. I would never do that to you. Let me see. What is he doing?
Well, while you do that, let me catch up on the chat, guys. Garrett Willett says, the highlight of my year, opening Porter's Bardstown blend and saying America.
Nice.
That's nice.
Hopefully everybody did that. Hopefully there wasn't one. Probably, I don't know. You know what? I don't care.
Lightning struck whoever did not do that. Death immediately. Let's see. Oh, is someone talking shit about Calumet 16? Because I'm here for this. Yes. Continue saying these things, Jonathan. Continue saying this.
It's the proof. That's what's missing. So
I don't.
For some reason. So this. Okay. I completely edited this out of my video today because it didn't make sense, and I went out. I started making a good point, and then I ended up talking about a male person driving on the right hand side of a car, steering with the steering wheel on the left. I don't know how I got there. And I was like, how am I what am I editing right now? But anyway, when you put ice in bourbon, it always smells like a little bit bitter and sour and stuff, and has like, that's what this Calumet 8 tastes like. It tastes like you put water in or ice in it and it melted. And that's kind of what I would get, or what I would say the Calumet 16 has that too. It's great, but it has that little bit of wateriness or thinness, almost like you put an ice cube in it, but not 30 ice cubes like the Calumet 8-year.
I just can't get over that like bright bubblegum note in the Calumet 16. I would take that medicinal cherry in the 15 over there's like a brighter note in the 16. I don't know why. Oh, this is funny, Bruzel. Ice and bourbon tastes like hairspray. That's a great call out. I call that perfume, that note. Like grandma's perfume.
Toshi Bake, yeah, that'd be awesome. Sorry, Cameron. I didn't want to.
No.
I don't even. Why can't I can't even type in chat here? What the heck? Jeez, this is lame.
I wish. You know what? They actually should make it to where you could share like admin roles behind the scenes. That would be much smarter.
I just play clips of you over you the entire time on your channel.
Can you imagine though how we could just go back and forth? It could just be a war of clips and shenaniganery.
What's up, Tim? Freaking Tim Evans. Love that guy.
Matt is right. I mean, the unfortunate Calumet 8 Club also tastes like if I took water from Flint, Michigan, soaked my feet in it, and made ice. I'm going to take a little sip of this 8 and 15 real quick.
Why? Well, yeah, after the Heaven Hill 17, it's probably going to taste great.
Just so I can go back to the Heaven Hill 17 and appreciate it more.
Yeah, I could. What's this cam? I've got a cam clip here all ready to go.
Play it.
So in the next 10 to 15 minutes,
No.
I'm gonna pee my pants.
There's that one. That's a good one.
I had to go like take a piss in the middle of a stream. I've never done that before. Every other time I do it, I just pee under the table in a bucket right here and turn my sound off.
Why do I believe that?
Can you imagine?
something-
Guys, listen to this song.
Yeah. You'd be like the new James, Grease's friend James.
Grease has friends.
I mean, if you James, he brought his phone to the bathroom on the live stream. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Shenaniganer.
just where it depends, says Bruzel.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Oliveira versus Makachev. This is a good question. I'm going to go Oliveira.
Really?
I think dude, Oliveira's on this crazy streak right now.
Why know that? I know.
But I mean, like, I think his game has totally changed. You know what I mean? I think he makes the best out of every situation because he gets in hairy situations in every fight and he comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Makachev's going to
probably smash. Makachev probably smash for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell? What's his name last weekend?
Did you see Hamzat's? Did you see that fight?
I watched the fight, but the interview was more. I hear smash. I hear fuck everybody.
Yeah, fuck everybody.
All right, there's my wife. I'll be back.
All right, guys. Matt will be back. I love Matt freaking Porter. I love having him on this on any stream. I love being on his streams. I just love watching his stream. I love Matt Porter. So we had a great time at not Whiskey Weekend, Jesus. Although I'm hoping to go to Whiskey Weekend this year. The Junkies meetup. So he'll be back in a second, I hope. But for now, I don't even know what I was drinking. Heaven Hill 17. I'm going to save that for when Matt gets back. I don't want to drink that without him. This is an infinity glass. Give me 1 second. I'm going to dump this out over here. I'm really trying to use these new glasses. Trying to get a feel for them. Got to adjust my stool. So let me clean this out real quick. And pour something else. Whether Matt is coming back or not, we will see. But I think he will. I think he'll come back. All right, let's see. So Toshibek talking UFC. Let me get the music back on. I cut it off when Matt played that clip. There we go. Toshibek says Oliveira. Yes, Oliveira gets knocked down and then knocks everybody out. Exactly. I think Oliveira's just changed his game, and I think Makachev's going to get him down and going to wrestle the shit out of him. And Oliveira might catch Makachev in a submission. And I think on the feet, Oliveira's going to do some... I think Oliveira's going to out-kickbox Makachev. I do think that, but, you know, that's coming from someone who doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Paul, the glasses look like Copitas with a flare top. Yes, but the difference is I think the base is a little wider. The stem is super thin on these things. And I like the bowl shape much better than the Copitas are a consistent shape the entire way as they get up to the rim. Actually have one. Maybe. All right, maybe I don't. I think it's actually back. Here it is. So here's a Copita compared to it. And so the flared lip, and also I think the wider bowl at the bottom, which resembles the glasses that I usually use over here. I've always found this shape to give you stronger smells with much less ethanol. And then the flared lip just makes that even better in terms of dissipating the ethanol when you are nosing it. So unfortunately, these are just so incredibly expensive that it's not cost effective to try to buy 6 or 12 of these things and keep them always on hand for big tastings and stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. Basically $40 a glass. So it's too much. Yeah, it does remind you of a Tiku glass. That's a good call out. That's a good call out. Hey guys, for the 101 of you in here tonight on this like Random stream. Thank you so much, first off, for being here. Please hit that like button if you're hanging out. I'm going to pour something else now. I'm going to pour a Dusty from Toshi Bake in the chat while while Matt's doing his thing. So no rush, Matt, if you are listening, if you're not, whatever. No rush on that. I'm going to pour a 1971 Stitzel Weller Old Fitzgerald at 86 proof. So I'm not going to pour too much of this because, Toshi, the fact that you sent me 2 ounces of everything is crazy to me. So thank you so much. I'm going to savor these things. Some of the samples I've had have lasted 2 or 3 years when they're like of this quality, because I don't want them to ever go. I have one sip, when it's a special occasion or with something like this. I'll pour, a little bit bigger of a glass than this. I'll pour it for Sarah and just hand it to her and say, here's something special, and have this tonight, please. Good Lord, man. So 71 Stitzel Weller Old Fitz, and I'm imagining 71 is the bottled year. So what do you know the age on this, Toshi? Paul P says, how are the BJ's glasses they gave out? They gave out the aged and ornate glass. I really like those as like a carefree sipping glass. The nose is not as good because they're a little bit fatter. This is actually that glass. This is the Bourbon Junkies glass right here. So it's a much wider nose. Jeez, I'm going to break that. You can see here, it's much wider at the top on this one. And the bowl is bigger, but it's the same idea. I like the aged and ornate glasses, but it's not if I'm sitting and nosing and really wanting to get into a whiskey. It's just if I'm hanging out with friends, I'm enjoying it. Maybe I'll pour a cocktail into this glass. It can actually fit a pretty decent-sized rock in here if you want to make a cocktail. But to me, it's a carefree sipping glass. And Bruzel, I think, is sipping from it right now. All right. I'm checking out the old the chat here, guys. If I've missed your chat, I do apologize. You can always try to tag me in here. Zach, do you not have a catheter in? I thought you were truly dedicated. I was wrong. You'll never know. All right. So let me talk about the nose real quick on this 71 Stitzel. Oh, before I do that, Toshi, man. Totally unnecessary, but thank you so much for the super chat, man. Psyched to see you taste some of these. Enjoy. Age on both the Stitzel Weller Old Fitz and the President's Choice not disclosed, so no idea. Cheers. Dude, cheers to you. Thank you for sending this. Here we go. On the nose, Dusty Butterscotch. When you get the Dusty Butterscotch note, immediately I'm sold. There's actually a lot of Armagnac qualities in here. That kind of distilled brandy Armagnac grape note in here, which reminds me of a little bit of like a spiced orange and clove. Yep. It's kind of sour. There's like a juicy fruit gum note in here, but a lot of people talk about that in whiskey in a negative way. In this case, it's a positive part of the whiskey. Smells like old books, Bruzel, if you were putting that in a blender, that would be a real chunky blend. Old books, juicy fruit gum, what did I say? Dusty butterscotch. So you need to be buying vintage butterscotch candies from the 80s. Yeah, I don't know. It's amazing. It smells really, really good. So, cheers, guys. Damn. What's crazy? Oh, wow, it's totally, this is wheated. Yeah, it's Old Fitz, right? So it's a Weller Old Fitz. You can taste so much sweetness on the palate. What's the note? I said cake earlier about the Heaven's Door, but this is also kind of giving me a white cake, a really nice cake note. And lots of vanilla and lots of sugary sweetness on the palate that I wasn't getting on the nose. The nose, if you guys have ever had any Dusty Weller 12s, like, you know, from 2010 to 2016, in the old squat bottles, W.L. Weller and Sons on the label, this kind of has some qualities of that, which is also obviously a wheated bourbon. Similar proof, but there's something extra on this, and this is hitting above its 86 proof point. You would not imagine this to only be 86. The other 86 I have here is this Calumet 8 and 15 blend, which is hilarious. And I think more than likely everything in this Calumet blend is older than this Stitzel Weller Old Fitz, I would think. And this is leaps and bounds above it. Ooh, buttercream. Cake or buttercream, says Tommy D. You can make the argument on buttercream, but to me, a buttercream note is more prevalent in some 36% rye MGP bottlings. The old Louisville Batch 1 has a lot of it. Dancing Goat, some of their 36% rye they've sourced from MGP, around that 8-year mark. I get a lot of buttercream on those. This is more of a cake note, but hints of buttercream. I can see it. Craig, I did taste this a little bit earlier, and I will have a review of that coming out soon. Yeah, Toshi, correct. Dude, totally correct for me. I think blind, I would go easy between 90 and 100 proof on that. Toshi, are you into Armagnac at all? Like, I'm just now dipping my toe in it. Sarah and I, people have been dropping off, like, for local trades, when people pick up bottles on the porch, everybody's been dropping Armagnac samples on the porch for some reason. And so we have, like, a 41-year Armagnac, some 21 stuff, some 25s. We've been sipping it, and it's like, this is the next frontier for us, because it's still so undervalued right now. Don't tell anybody. Cream cheese icing, says Zach Jones. That's interesting. That's a great note, man. That's a great note. I'm gonna have to think about that more with some stuff that I smell. Yeah, cake, buttercream, vanilla. Yeah, Tommy D, it's in that realm. It's a little bit sour too. It's almost like the butteriness, the buttercream, I guess, just kind of sat out in the sun a little bit. And then you're like, that sounds gross as shit. And it kind of does, but not in a bad way. I love those notes where you're like, it's this and this and this, but not in a bad way. Or everybody says this in review videos. It tastes kind of like an old library, but it's not off-putting. The whole, it's not off-putting thing, I think like that's hilarious to me. All right, last sip of this 71 Stitzel Weller. Toshi, man. That's awesome. The only bad part about that at 86 proof is that if I had like a 200 milliliter flask of this, I would just put it down in one night. If I didn't have self-control, I would just drink 200 mils of this easy, because it, as a weeder at 86 proof, it is so crushable. Wow. Aiden, dude. The 41-year Armagnac sample that we have, I don't even know what house it's from. I don't know anything about it. It is so good. And it's like 84.2 proof. So good. Bruzel wants a red velvet cake with buttercream icing. Sorry, man. All right, let's go to the next one. Next, Dusty. Toshi, can you remind me in the chat? This is 1969 President's Choice. I should rinse the glass. I should do this thing justice. I should rinse the glass. 1969, I think, right? President's Choice, but I don't remember the proof point of this. I don't remember the old proof point, or the proof point on these older bottles. '69 Brown-Forman President's Choice. I'll have a little more of this one. Actually, I gotta save it for Sarah. 90 proof, okay. So, when we were at the Junkies meetup, Sarah was able to try President's Choice for the first time, and she fell in love with it. So in the near future, I'm going to have to find a President's Choice on secondary and buy it for her as a gift for some occasion, or just for whenever. But, you know, she's really going to want to try this 69 President's Choice, so I have to save her most of this sample after tonight, Toshi. That is wild, dude. Have you guys in the chat ever had anything along these lines? Like any Stitzelweller from the 70s or 80s, or any of this Brown-Forman stuff from, well, 69, 70, 80? What, have you had any of this stuff? This is my first experience with anything Brown-Forman this old. And the only other Stitzelweller I've ever had was the one Matt sent me, the 65 Old Fitz, 10 years old, I think. So... Wow, Toshi poured a 69 next to a 2019 President's Choice. Surprisingly similar palate. 50 years apart. That's crazy. Dude, Toshi, I don't know if you're sipping this with me. This is starting to remind me of the A.H. Hirsch that Matt sent me. There's like a rubber tire note in this. Oh. Yeah, like rubber boot or rubber tire. And it's not quite scotchy, but it's like ambiguously whiskey-like. You know, like you could, if someone smelled this, they might smell that rubbery note and go, "Oh, that's a scotch," and I wouldn't blame them. Oh my god, dude. It's so funky. This is... And I think some people would smell that rubberiness and assume that it's like a coffee note or an espresso note. And I would agree with that too. That is a crazy nose. It's not off-putting, says Mark Necker. Let's go. I bet I said that about this. Oh, it smells like a rubber tire, but it's not off-putting. Oh, Jesus. Now Bruzel has to blend a tire. Like black tar. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. So when I'm gonna drink whiskey on a Thursday night live stream, I carb up. When I eat dinner, carbs. You know, I'm getting ready for the stream. Tonight, I had 0 carbs for dinner. All I ate was like, I had ham, bacon, chicken, and shrimp for dinner. It was just all protein tonight. So I was not prepared for this. So no matter how much I consume, I'm going to overconsume tonight. So if I'm going back on my word, and now I'm saying it's not off-putting. Tire or espresso, I'll say it's tire. Toshi, of course you have some A.H. Hirsch 16 left. God freaking dang it. Slightly tobacco, okay. I can see that. Yeah, it's living in that, it's this weird funkiness. Tire, like rubber, coffee, tobacco. It's there. I gotta taste it now. Cheers. Oh my God. Ooh, I got cold chills. I got goosebumps. That is like, that's one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. In terms of dusties, 90 proof. Obviously, it's not going to, like, it's a totally different beast than King of Kentucky. Some of the old Granddad 114 from the 80s, all that stuff that I love. It's a different animal. In this category of, like, low proof, dusty, or really anything, I don't know that I've had anything better than that. Yeah. It is so sour on in the palate and the finish in the best way. Which, one thing that I like, guys, when I think about dusties versus whiskeys made today, I think about the differences in them. Often, there are not a lot of overlaps between what dusties were with the old butterscotch notes or these old kind of savory, dark, funky notes with what we get today. What we get today is a lot brighter, a lot cleaner. And so when I find a connection between old whiskey and whiskeys made today, that excites me. And so the connection that I'm making between this and also the Stitzel-Weller I just tasted to the Heaven Hill 17, which obviously was distilled like, it's between 17 and 20 years old. So it's distilled between 02 to what, 05, which is not dusty, not really. But that sour note, that sour funkiness is in all three of these pours. And I like seeing connections to the whiskeys of prior decades because it gives me hope that maybe one day whiskey can return to having that level of funk more generally, because I think it should. Bruzel says, but this whole it tastes like a garbage truck and retread tires, but it's not off-putting, is the whole reason for the tasting notes vids. How could that not be bad? That's a great question, man. And when I watch your tasting notes videos with the blender, it gets me thinking, because bourbon is one thing and rye is one thing. Bruzel, you need to do something with scotch, man. Here's what you need to do. You need to go watch a Springbank video and have somebody talk 30 tasting notes for Springbank. And if you could put that shit in a blender, that would be hilarious. And that might only be hilarious for like a few thousand people that really love scotch and are into it and see that short. But I think about that when I see your videos. Like, how can we say these notes and then say it's actually a good thing? Like when you smell Springbank and you say like rope, like dry rotted rope and tar and sea air and this and oil and all this shit. It's like if you put that in a blender and drank it, it would kill you. Yeah, man, Springbank. Do some Springbank videos. Yeah, Jonathan comes from the wine world. Forest floor petrichor, tobacco, wet leaf pile, rotting log. No joke, that is the stuff. It really is. And you don't find that on a lot of bourbon these days. You can find it on some even 4-year craft whiskeys sometimes, but it's not presenting the same way that it presented back in the 80s. When it was sweeter and more integrated into the whiskey. Nowadays, when you get those kind of notes, they are outlier notes in the whiskey that don't quite make it they don't quite integrate fully into the profile of the whiskey, whereas back in prior decades, it felt like those funky notes were more integrated into the base quality of the whiskey itself. Yeah. Wow. Toshi, if you had to pick, man, between the Stitzel and the President's Choice, what are you gonna go with? This tastes like Bigfoot's nutsack. Robotic, that's awesome. Tastes like Walking Dead Season 3, tip of a stake through a zombie. Delightful. Yeah, Toshi, I'm going to have my last sip of this, man. Dude, cheers to you. Cheers for sending these along. I can't say thank you enough. Sarah is going to, she's going to go crazy for this. I know she is. So thanks, dude. Damn. Long Road Home says, cheers. Cheers, dude. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. For the 100 of you in chat right now, I'm trying to get my bearings drinking this 1969 President's Choice. Please hit that like button. All the good YouTube stuff. Thank you for hanging out. Really, really appreciate it. Not sure if Matt Porter is going to be making his way back in here or not. But I'm going to still hold out hope. And now I'm going to move on to something else. Dude, Toshi, look, I am not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, but anytime you want to send a fun flight, I'm not going to say no. But the best I can probably do is pay the shipping cost. Because when I thought about everything you sent me, and they're like all 2-ounce samples, I'm like, I don't want to tally this up in my brain. All right, we have some weird esoteric music going on right now. Let's go back to some jazz. Let's smooth out the evening. Oh, it looks like the Contender Series press conference just started. What time does the Contender Series come on? I usually start watching around 10 p.m. on Tuesday, but maybe I'm watching it replayed. I can't even remember. All right, so I've had the Old Fitz 15 tonight. I've had the Disco 8, which is better. I'm digging the Disco 8 a little bit more with significant air in the bottle and several weeks. Heaven's Door 10, I fawned over earlier. I loved it. Tim Evans, I don't know if you're still hanging out, Tim. If you are, let me know. I have that Old Ezra 7 sitting here. I also grabbed randomly, because this is a whiskey I could never put my finger on, the Wild Turkey 1. I just went back and forth on this, and the reason I didn't review it is because I just didn't know what to say. It was hit and miss every time I sipped it. So I've got that up on the table right now. I also have this Michter's barrel strength bourbon I could take a sip of and talk about. Mark, Disco 8, I actually got it on release day at the distillery, so down in Kentucky. Ghost Piper, does it still need turned up? It sounds good to me, but let me know. I've got it in my ears. Yeah, Zach, you got to get a Heaven's Door. You got to get it. I really enjoy it. And I've got like half a pour left of the media sample they sent. And to my knowledge, it is different a little bit than the bottle. So in the video, I'm going to compare them. But to memory, it feels different. And I'm curious to see how it stacks up. Yeah. Let me check the chat, guys. So what do you think? If I went... Now, here's the deal. You guys see some of the stuff behind me? I can pull down and taste any of this stuff that you want. If you have any questions, any head-to-head comparisons you're interested in, I just randomly grabbed Wild Turkey 1 and Michter's Barrel Strength Bourbon, but I'm happy to taste just about anything I have back here. If you have any questions about anything, and I hope that doesn't sound, any which way, me saying that. I just mean I'm happy to talk about any of these whiskeys on the stream tonight. So I'm going to scroll back here in the chat. Jonathan, I missed this earlier. From a health professional standpoint, high fat's better than high carb. High fat meal will actually delay the speed it absorbs from stomach to bloodstream. Doctor of physical therapy. That's good to know. I will say, guys, I may have stated this in the last stream that I did. The Z-Biotics that everybody talks about, everybody's getting sponsored by Z-Biotics on their videos. I must have allergic reactions to probiotics because I broke out in a rash all over my body, and it was not pretty for about a week and a half there. So I have like 4 Z-Biotics. I'm just going to send them to somebody or hand them off because I can't use them. They just give me this insane... I break out into hives all over my body. So I was like hopeful. Oh man, this is going to help me out on my Thursday streams. Nope. Not at all. Cheech, good call, man. Good call. I got to be sure to call it out, turn it over to you when we're done here. Thank you for reminding me, man. Kyle, unfortunately, I don't have any Foursquare on me. Not a big rum guy. Jeff, I have Disco 3. I do have 3. I could do that comparison. I don't have any 4-gate. Lord Jules, remind me what batch 19 is. I've tasted... Is that Kelvin 4? tasted Kelvin 4 at the Pours in the Park, but I don't quite remember it. It was a long night. Nah, Bruzel, I don't have any sponsors on the channel, man. Whoops. No sponsors on the channel. And if ZBiotics tried to sponsor me, I wouldn't. If anybody ever reached out and offered money as a sponsorship for the channel, first and foremost, I wouldn't want it to be... Well, ZBiotics is not a whiskey company. So if it... But here's the deal. I wouldn't say yes to a sponsor unless I used it and I actually like the product. Like those are my benchmarks. So I have had... I won't name the company because I am going to... I have a lot of things on the floor behind me that I need to review or use in videos because I want to. I had a company send me a shitload of stuff, and then they offered me money in bottles, like, to review it, and I just said no. I said, you send me stuff, I will not guarantee that I'm even going to make a video or feature it anywhere. I can't guarantee it. And if you need a guarantee, please don't send me the product. They said, no, we're still going to send it to you. So they sent it, and I'm going to find a way to work it in. I'm not in a rush to do it because they had fair warning that I wasn't, and then they offered me money, and I said no, because I don't, the one thing that you have to have, I think, on WhiskeyTube or in any position like this when you're trying to review things, you just have to have your integrity. And if you are going to pay me money, I would take money from ZBiotics and feature their product. It helps me make videos, helps me pay the bills, keep the lights on. It's not a whiskey company, and if the product worked for me, but it doesn't work for me, so I couldn't take their money. I can't talk about how that works. If the Ben Ewan glass, if these guys wanted to send me money and talk about their product, after tonight, after taking these for a test drive, I would absolutely do sponsored content from them, let's say. So that's kind of where I stand, but I'm not going to have Heaven's Door reach out and, if a company like that, if I got to the point where they ever did that, if I was a big enough channel, I wouldn't take money from a whiskey company to feature their products. It doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, rant. I apologize. Okay. Bubble Bass says the science behind ZBiotics seems pretty sus. I looked into some of it. Unless you're super versed in what they're doing, it's kind of hard to tell. I've had a reaction to other probiotics before, but I didn't quite know that that's what it was. I was just assuming, and now I'm certain that that's what it is. Scott, have I tried Nashville Barrel Company? Just showed up. I've had a single barrel, 5-year-old bourbon, single barrel, 21% rye MGP mash bill. It tasted a little young, but it was the most cherry I had ever gotten on any MGP 5-year pick I'd ever had. From what I hear from other people, Nashville Barrel Company sources exceptional barrels, and I think that's probably correct. So the price point is the only issue. I've heard that some of the 9 to 10 year ryes, which are $200 and above, I know that's crazy price for those types of things. I've heard that some of the older ryes are like in a different category than most other stuff. And I think some of their bourbons just turned 9 years old. So I'm going to keep an eye on them, but I can't go drop $200 on a 8-9 year MGP single barrel. It doesn't make sense with other barrel picks happening in other groups that I'm in right now. Mark, I don't eat dairy, so I don't know. My body started rejecting dairy and gluten over the last 2 years, which has been a big, I've had all these health issues, GI tract, all this stuff. It's extended well beyond my GI tract into systemic, what seems like some sort of autoimmune or nervous system kind of thing. Very widespread. So I basically cut gluten, cut dairy, and I still have issues. I've taken sensitivity tests. I have an allergy test that I'm going to try to take soon. just trying to narrow it all down, but I haven't had yogurt, so I don't know if I react to that. But I know that there's obviously like live cultures in that and other things. But I steer clear of fermented foods and other things with live cultures just because I'm worried that it's going to give me an allergic reaction. Bruzel says no one has said no yet. Oh, hang on. I'm very much in that we'll send you all the stuff you want, but won't pay you space. So I've just started asking for a ton of stuff to give away to patrons with no guarantee of a video. Yeah, that's a good move, I think. I mean, look, you can't convince me, or like nobody could convince me that it's right to take money from a whiskey company to push their product. Period. Because if Heaven Hill, let's say in a perfect world, Heaven Hill contacted me and said, we'll give you $250 per video 4 times a month if you talk about how good Heaven Hill is. I love Heaven Hill. Like, I love a lot of their stuff. But I think Elijah Craig Barrel Proof largely is dog shit now. And I'm a little loose-lipped after so many pours tonight. But I don't think Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is what it needs to be compared to the legacy they've set up for themselves with that line. I think Larceny Barrel Proof has been a giant floundering thing. So if they ask me to, like, and again, in a perfect world, please don't think I'm saying I'm at a point where Heaven Hill would ever offer to pay me money. They don't offer to pay anybody money, probably, outside of like magazines and spreads and stuff. You still can't make a blanket statement about their products because you like some and you hate others. So I think anybody that would take money from a whiskey company to push their products, to me, that feels disingenuous if you're really in this to review things candidly with no strings attached. That's the way I feel. If you're just making a huge business out of a podcast, maybe it's a different story. Like, I don't know. If they run their ads on your podcast, maybe that's a different vibe. But on Whiskey Tube videos, where it's like 10 minutes long and they get 90 seconds of your video, that's a substantial amount of real estate for them to take up. Sorry, more rants. Mark Royland, what's up, man? Yeah, there are ways to trade bottles. I can't talk about that publicly on here, but if you want to send me a message, we can chat behind the scenes. There are national ways to do it, and then there are local ways as well. I'm not going to know your local ways, but we can talk about some national things if you want. Yeah. Zach, Papa's Ebiotics and a Benadryl. That would be hilarious. My body would be like... Robotic, that's hilarious, man. Yeah, no. Bruzel, I've been hit up by people with like smoker kits and ice molds and all that. Like some of the stuff you're talking about. To me, that's a little bit different, but some of it has been so suspect. Like, hi, I'm Mary from the Amazon whiskey team, Amazon product team of whiskey, and we want to send you this thing. I'm like, and I look at the email address, and it's like some Chinese email address. It's like, just get the hell out of here. Come on. Bruzel, that's funny. They can pay me. I'll say good things. They may be disappointed when the video says that they paid me to say those good things. That's funny, man. All right. What am I sipping? What am I sipping? Let's look around. Did I decide on anything? I don't even know. Did I pour something in my glass? I don't think I did. What do you guys want to do? What time do we got here? 10:55. That's not late at all. I don't know if Tim Evans is here. If he's not here, I don't want to do his sample comparison. I'll save it to Thursday night. He sent me a Smoke Wagon special rye, the batch D, and then he sent me a Rossville, Rossville Union 110.8 to compare it to. Paul P., I have not had barrel batch 33. I only have a media sample of batch 32 back there, so I unfortunately can't compare. Tommy, get out of here. I saw Hidden Barn batch 2 when I was in Kentucky a few days ago, and I passed up on it. I thought I would buy it, and I passed up on it. So, there we go. Bruzel, I'm nearly finished. I'm on nearly finished bottles tonight. So I finished Russell's 10. Got way too close to the Weller bottom of his Antique 107, so I moved on to Hancock's. Yeah, EBA, what's up, man? Batch 2 did come out. Guys, did you know that Batch 3 of Penelope Architect is out now? Build 3, the way they're calling it. A buddy of mine in Cincinnati today picked up a Build 3. I only thought they had Builds 1 and 2 out. Tommy, I've got a bunch of Penelope, man. That's my shelf back there. I got a lot of Penelope. Dude, I just came to Kentucky for the Labad release last Friday, and I drove down at 3:30 in the morning, and I drove straight back up. So if I'm ever down there for more than an hour, I will totally hit you up. Light whiskey, says Tommy D. Don't know if I have any in this room. Well, let me grab the Penelope. I have the Penelope American. Let's open this can of worms, Tommy. That's actually way different than I remember it smelling. Right off the bat. All right, here we go. So traditionally, I'm not a big fan of light whiskey. This is a style of whiskey that I'm having a hard time finding appreciation for. And I don't want to say that I hate it, but I have never found myself, I don't think I've ever reached for light whiskey and said, oh, that really sounds good right now. I do, however, have a few different light whiskey bottlings in my basement that I like. I have a Backbone light whiskey Triple Down that I thought was good. This Penelope stands out, actually. I went ahead and traded off. I hadn't opened one of these, but it was the batched version at 128.4 proof. This is a single barrel pick at 131.6, and I do like it. I have Brain Candy from the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, which is 156 proof. That's a crazy pick. It's not really what light whiskey is because it's so intense. It's an outlier. And yeah, I've had some obtainiums and other things, but I don't know. Let's just see. You should have come and hunt birthday bourbon instead. I wouldn't even know where to hunt things in Kentucky, man. I used to love bourbon hunting, and at this point, it's so frustrating to me, in state in Ohio, that if I'm going to go out of state, I have no connections to anybody. There's no sense in me. In my opinion, there's no sense in me trying. People hold everything in the back, at least as far as I know. Whew. All right. Jonathan says, I'll pick up number 3 and send you a sample. John, that would be awesome. If you want to do that, I won't say no, of course, but I don't have build 2. So I wanted to do a video of build 1 and maybe get a sample of build 2. Now that build 3 is out, I'm like, man, I'm not going to go drop the money and buy build 2 and build 3 right now all at once. Because I wasn't that crazy about build 1, but I would love to do the comparison. So, it's up to you, Jonathan, if you want to send me that sample. Totally your call. Bubble Bath, I don't have any of their agave spirits. No. All right. So 13-year, 131.6. This is selected by Bourbon Finds, Penelope Light Whiskey. It's standard light whiskey notes. Candy shop, bright vanillas. But there's actually something dark and smoky about this particular barrel. And that's the reason I kept this thing. And I didn't try to trade it off. Yeah, there's a smoky element on the really low end of this thing that is a little different than other light whiskeys that I've had. Tommy D, butterscotch at all? When I think of butterscotch, I'm always thinking of like something darker and richer than this, but maybe. Let me taste it first. Wow. Yeah. It's so sweet and vanilla and candy shop, green apple peel. This has that slight smokiness at the bottom end. Something darker now just hit. Brown, almost like a brown butter kind of note. So maybe a little bit of a butterscotchiness, Tommy D. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, Mark, vanilla cream. Yeah, absolutely. But all of it's wrapped up in this extremely ethanol-forward, spicy white pepper kind of profile. That's what I don't like about it. Like, I think there's a time and a place for this. But if I ever had the choice between drinking light whiskey and drinking any batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, including B521, which is my least favorite batch, I would take B521 over any light whiskey I've ever had. And God, even the Old Carter Americans, I tried some of those at the Junkies meetup, and I couldn't believe how young the Old Carter Americans tasted. It just, I don't know, man. Butter popcorn, says Zach. I actually get that more on like Willet stuff. Noah's Mill, Rowan's Creek. That stuff has more of a buttered popcorn note. Jonathan says, I'll get in touch with you. It's a gray, dark, warm French oak note to number 2, like the best campfire. Interesting. I love the Frenchman, the Lucky 7 Frenchman. I think that's a great whiskey. That build 1 of Penelope Architect, I just wasn't that crazy about. Tommy, tasting the variants of some of these light whiskeys, from the Penelope to the Backbone to the Obtainiums and some of the others that I have, I could believe that there is a light whiskey out there for me, you know? I think overall I don't like the style. Just like overall, Old Granddad Bonded, I tasted earlier on the Tuesday Tastealong thing. I didn't like that so much, and I never have. It's a subjective thing, profile-wise, but I do think there's probably a light whiskey out there for me, and so whether it's that like Copper Sky you're talking about, I bet there's a deep dive into this that I could find something that I like. Bubble Bath, dude, everybody was like, oh my God, American Batch 1, Old Carter, right here. And I tasted it, and I was like, they're like, what do you get? And I was like, it just tastes like young cornmeal to me. I could not understand the appeal. I also had the Old Carter American Batch 5 in a blind, and I thought it tasted like Canadian whiskey. Like, I thought it was a Canadian, and I called it out as a Canadian, and it ended up being, you know, Old Carter American. So, I don't know. Joe, I don't have that pick. You don't know Jack Obtainium? No, unfortunately. Copper Sky's done a few finishes with light. See, I think finished light whiskey might be more up my alley. because it feels a little more scotchy. Used cooperage, throw a finish on it, sounds more sensible, more related to Scotch. But yeah, Penelope Light whiskey, just not so much for me. All right, maybe I'll do one more pour. At maximum, 2 more pours. Got 82 still hanging out there. Sorry, guys. A little bit of a lull. Let's get some more exciting music to end the stream. Let's get some lo-fi beats on. I don't know if it's more exciting, but maybe a little more upbeat. Let's just see what happens. I don't know what these mixes are. Gotta wait till the beat kicks in. So any head-to-heads you guys want to see, or any whiskeys you want some opinions on, any questions you have, what are you guys sipping on right now? Let me know. What are you surprised by? What have you been finding in your stores recently? That's something that I'm always curious about because I'm just not out hunting that much anymore. Scott, what's the deal with Widow Jane? Good or not? I think Widow Jane, for what it is a little bit overpriced. Like the standard, it's either 10 or 12 years, the standard product. You can taste the Dickel blended in there just a little bit too much for me, but I actually don't hate it. I believe it's $70-ish. I think it's overpriced, and it feels more like a $40 to $50 pour to me. And I think the proof on it's a bit low. I have a sample of it somewhere on this shelf. It's actually right on the top here. It says it's a 10-year, 91 proof, and that was my issue with it. It's good. It's very fruity and toasty, influenced by the Dickel on those notes, but not too much vitamin or minerality or anything. It's just a little bit underwhelming for $70. So, hope that answers your question, Scott. Try to make it quick. The quickest tasting ever, just sipping off the top of a sample bottle. Cheech is sipping the BJ's Pingree blend. Yeah, man. That's an interesting one. So I don't know Valentine Distilling's own stuff. I just know MGP. It reminds me a lot of a Penelope private blend with something different, and that something different is probably the Valentine stuff. I would love to taste that on its own so I could have the context to kind of approach that blend. Colin just stumbled on an Eagle Rare store pick. Dude, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, I found my first ever Eagle Rare store pick at SRP in Michigan when I was up there with the Junkies. I've never ever seen one of those on the shelf anywhere because we don't get those in Ohio. So it was pretty cool. Jeff Perkins wants Disco 3 versus Disco 8. Sipping on a 6-year Boone County single barrel. I have a 7-year I just got at the distillery. Any other thoughts? Let's see. Okay. Joe has 3 bottles. Joe, what are you talking about? 3 bottles of what? Sorry. We've gone through this quick. I can get you some. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Jonathan has an offer for me. What is the offer? Aiden. Let me scroll up and let's see. I'll buy a bottle of number 3, bottle 2 samples, and send them for 1 ounce. I can't spare the 1 ounce of the this is all I have of the Heaven Hill 17. And I have to, my wife is going to drink at least half of what's left of this. And I need the other little bit for a video. So I wish I could spare it. If I had a full bottle, I would absolutely send you a sample of it. I just can't. And I apologize for that. So, Toshi, man, put the daughter to bed. Absolutely. Priorities. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the samples. And I'm going to taste your Willet Flight, guys, on Thursday night. Toshi sent me a sample of 6, 9, 11, and 12-year Willet Purple Top bourbons. I'm going to taste all of those on Thursday night, and I cannot wait. Bubble Bath, I do have a Frey Ranch cast strength. It's just a really young one. So I've tasted it 2 times at this point on different streams. And it's good. It's just not great. Okay, let's do a last pour. Why not do... You know what? Let's get crazy. Let's do... Jeff, I know you wanted Bardstown 3 versus 8. I can already tell you I'm going to take 3 over 8. I'm going to say I like the fruitiness of it, the orange and the red fruit notes, that MGP quality to the 3 better than I like the woodiness of the 8. That's an interesting comparison. At this point, I don't think I'm cut out for a comparison. I'm going to do one more pour. Jeff Perkins, if you're here on Thursday night, remind me, and I'll try to do that Bardstown 3 versus 8 comparison then when I have a fresher palate. I want to drink something crazy for you guys right now, okay? I've gotten a few pours in me. This is an impromptu stream. And I think Sarah would understand. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Okay. So I know there's a lot of people in here tonight. 82. There was like 100 earlier. Some of you are probably here because the Junkies aren't live. Some of you are probably Drums and Drams supporters. And maybe some of you are just new altogether. Regardless, my wife and I, our wedding anniversary is August 26, 2021. And one night I had a few too many pours and I was scrolling through a secondary page and somebody posted this unbelievably rare Blanton's. It was bottled on our wedding day. It's from obviously Warehouse H. It's 56% ABV. Rick 34, barrel 331, whatever. It's a 70 centiliter bottle. Picked by LMDW, La Maison du Whiskey, from France, and sent to Singapore. Now, I've never, ever seen one of these before. These Singapore bottlings of LMDW Blanton's. I know some of you are like, oh my God, it's high-proof Blanton's. I understand. I spent $2,000 on this fucking bottle, okay? Pardon my language. It popped up. It had the wedding date on it. The letter on this is L for Leach, which Sarah did take my last name. This just felt really special to me, and it was a $2,000 bottle. $2,000 was not in the budget to spend on a bottle at that time. And I sent a message to this guy, and I said, hey, man, this was not in my budget. I see you have this insane bottle. It's super rare. In my mind, I probably could have talked him down a few $100, whatever. I'd never seen one of these before, these Singaporean Blanton's. So instead of negotiating with him money-wise, I just said, can I pay you on payday? And he said, yes. So I paid him, and I got this Blanton's, and we cracked it on our wedding anniversary last month, our first anniversary. And I told her at some point I'm going to sip this on a live stream, just a little pour of it. Yeah. And I can't give samples of this away, ever. And I will make one video for this. And that's all I can do with it. But I figured, you know what? Let's just taste this tonight. This is a crazy pour. And it means a lot to me. I spent way too much money on it, and I don't give a shit because it's special. So, you know, any complaints, just save them, please. The stars aligned. The color on this, I just want you to see this. Let me grab my straight from the barrel. So holding these up to the light, it's really hard to tell on the screen here. This Singaporean Blanton's is darker and redder and 10% less ABV than my straight from the barrel. So it's clearly from a barrel that was probably high in the rick house, I would imagine, or just is older, lots of wood influence, whatever, just based on the color alone. So, let's check this out. When we first cracked this open, we smelled it. And I was like, thank God it's good. Because I spent so much money on this. And if it was like just a normal Blanton's or a normal Blanton straight from the barrel, I was going to be so sad. So, Jesus. Let me pour a little straight from the barrel as a comparison. Oh my goodness. Robert King, I just saw that come through, man. Let me pull that up. Holy crap. Let me organize this here. Robert King, man. Thank you so much for a $100 super chat on a random Tuesday night live stream. I cannot say thank you enough, man. I really appreciate that. And cheers to you. This first sip, I'm not even going to nose it. This crazy Blanton's, I'm not even going to nose it. This is for you, man. Thank you so much for the support. And thank you for hanging out tonight. Cheers. Wow. All right. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Robert. So, this Blanton's at 56% ABV. It smells dusty. It has the dusty note that Elijah Craig barrel proof pirate bottles have. There's kind of this alcoholic ethanol, green, herbaceous, dusty note on those that's different from some of the butterscotch stuff from the 80s. This has that kind of dustiness to it from the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. It smells extremely spicy, extremely high proof, and it's only 112. If I smelled this and I had no idea what it was, I would assume this was 125 to 130 proof. So because of that, because of the color, I would imagine that this is old and has a ton of wood influence, hot part of the warehouse, maybe a high floor. It's boozy honey. Like red hot candies, atomic fireballs. Yeah, it's all spice and honey, but not in a typical Blanton's way, and not even from a typical straight from the barrel Blanton's way, which I have here. This is like kind of more reserved at 10% more alcohol. A little more maple and chocolate, like darker. But it lacks this dusty quality and it lacks the intensity. And it tastes young. Oh, that's my biggest issue with that straight from the barrel. It tastes young. Like probably 6-7 years old. So now on to this Blanton's. I cannot believe the way this smells. Like the fact that that's Blanton's blows my mind. A lot of people have always said stuff about why isn't there a Mash Bill 2 product in the BTAC lineup? And I can't remember if Mash Bill 2 in its entirety or if it's just Blanton's is Japanese owned. But either way, if there was a BTAC Mash Bill 2, this is what it would be. Like, no doubt in my mind, the way this feels more aged and boozy and dusty, all those honey notes are intact, but there's something else. There's an extra dimension to this in the spice in the spice world. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Really, it doesn't. And I've never had a Blanton's that had the sweet vanilla cream note. Mark Emenecker, you called that out earlier on the light whiskey. But when I get a really nice, decadent, sweet vanilla cream note from King of Kentucky, from Evan Williams 23, this Blanton's has that. It just doesn't make any sense. So this is, oh God. So this is Sarah and I's bottle that we're going to drink on every anniversary until this thing runs out. Instead of limiting ourselves to 1 ounce each year, each person or whatever, it's like we'll just drink it till it runs out and then we'll get another anniversary bottle. But that is so incredible. And it shows me that when you see people paying $700 for the French Blantons, you know, the LMDW bottlings, I don't think they're crazy as far as secondary values are concerned. When things are $1,000, $2,000, and you see these LMDW Blantons going for $700, I was always like, man, that seems like a lot for like a crazy Blanton's. Tasting this, I'm like, if those resemble this type of Blanton's profile, I understand the hype now. I really do. What's up, Marty? Yeah, we're drunk. We're drunk. Thomas, it's or Tom Snyder, what's up, man? It's 56% or 112 proof. Yeah, Sam Williams says, straight from the barrel has been disappointing. Me too. I've had one sample of a straight from the barrel that I really liked. In my mind, this is what straight from the barrel should taste like, but obviously this is the outlier, and this is the top tier of what it is. From what I can tell, this is the only barrel, as far as I know, that was sent to Singapore in 2021. There could be more, but you know, if there's only one barrel sent and it's like 180 bottles or something, to have one of those, to me, there's rarity, there's connection to the wedding date, there's our last name, there's everything about this bottle that I love, and that's why it's really special. Yeah, Tommy, there's way too much stuff on this table at this point. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we had a great anniversary, and you guys know Sarah. She comes on the live stream sometimes. I tried to get her on tonight. She was in her PJs. I said, come sip these dusties with me. You know, Toshi sent the Sitzelweller and the President's Choice. I said, come sip these with me. She was like, I can't. So, she'll be on a live stream soon, I would imagine. Bruzel says, my straight from the barrel is excellent. That's awesome, man. I have one sample back there, probably half an ounce left, that I thought was really good. Dude! What's up, Brian? Good to see you, man. How about that Chateau de la Baude, too? That's all I'll say. Hey, patrons, I'll see you tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m., patron-only live stream. And then Thursday night, regular Drums and Drams stream. So I'm going to stream a lot this week. Good Lord. 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night, regular Drums and Drams stream. You're going to do a Willet Purple Top Flight. Going to warm up with this Calumet Farm 8 and 15-year blend and some other stuff, you know. Yeah, maybe just don't try it. Unfortunately. All right. Last sip, guys. Last sip of the night for me with this special too expensive Blanton's bottle. I'm going to make some clickbait video or clickbait YouTube short about, I spent $2,000 on this Blanton's and I don't regret it. And that's going to be a video. So I keep almost breaking this glass. That would be very bad. Cheers, guys. Bruzel. No, Matt popped into chat here and said that he was going to hang out in chat. So it's all good. Everything tonight is impromptu anyways. So we're making, what is it? Chicken something out of chicken shit. I don't know what the phrase is. I'm a little drunk, so I'm not going to get it right. And that's okay. Dude, Bruzel. Yeah, I might hit you up about some clickbait stuff, dude. And also, like, I'm gonna shoot some just do some test shoots on some shorts and see editing style and transitions. I don't know if you use Premiere or if you use Final Cut or whatever, but DaVinci. I'm gonna see about transitions for text and just how it all looks, adding captions to everything, because it's gonna be a different beast to try to start editing shorts. I think I have a handle on it and how I want it to go and how to make it look good. But I'll certainly hit you up, dude. Premiere. I use Premiere too. Chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's what it is. Brian, please, I'm there. Just tell me when and where, and I will host the event. I'll even play some music if you want. Let's do it. Derek, I know the comments on the Blanton's video will be out of this world. I can't wait for it. Bourbon Kingdom, I just jumped up back in the chat. What President's Choice? It's a 1969. Oh, barrel, I mean. Of what are you talking about? If you're talking about President's Choice, it's just a 69 President's Choice, so. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for hanging out on this random-ass live stream. Patrons, tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., you'll get my first look at Chateau de la Baude Batch 2 compared to Batch 1. If you guys want to jump into the Patreon, I've been a little inactive recently, so if you do jump in and you're like, oh my God, why isn't he posting all the time? I apologize. Things are getting back to normal. Crazy last couple of weeks with work. Do that tomorrow night at 7:30, 8 p.m. on Thursday night. Going to be a regular live stream. Got content coming out this week. I'm going to be filming tomorrow, starting at 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I have like 3.5 hours to just film content at home, which is going to be awesome. So trying to get like 3 or 4 videos done in that time. I think that's it. So final sip. Just enough of this Blanton's to have a little final sip. That's the end of the stream. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out and being flexible tonight and just spending your time with me. Love you all. Thank you, Matt Porter, for jumping in earlier. And especially to Robert King and everybody else that super chatted tonight. I don't have you up here or I would shout your names out right now. You guys rock. Mark Royland and Toshi Bake. See you guys Thursday night. Cheers.